Do words mean anything? That's the question we'll answer in this video. Hello, this is Dr. Todd, and I've been thinking about something I came across a few years ago in an article dealing with a concept called concept creep. I'll include a link to the article in the description below. But in essence, what the article argues is that for some reason in our English language over the past several years, concepts have taken on additional meanings so that what we understood a word to signify 15 years ago, 20 years ago, is way more inclusive now. And so the author of the article gives several examples. I believe there's about 6 of them in the article. But the idea is that meanings have expanded horizontally. They've increased in what counts as whatever you're calling this item. And they've also expanded vertically, which deals with the level of the burden of proof has gotten lower and lower to qualify for the concept. An example that I recall from the article would be bullying, for instance. When I was in school, bullying was pretty straightforward. Some kid would come up to you and threaten you verbally, but most importantly, usually physically, to get what he wanted from you, that kind of thing. Well, now, and so intent was really important as to who was being a bully or if bullying had occurred. Well, now that has been expanded so that if I sat down in a cafeteria beside you and realized that some of my best buddies had just come in and sat at another table, if I got up, or if I get up and I move over to the other table and it hurts your feelings, technically, within the new definition, I have bullied you. There are also things called microaggressions, where we unintentionally do things that hurt people. And that qualifies now as bullying. Well, the problem with that is, as it relates to bullying, is you've cast a narrative now to where I'm some sort of bullying abuser and you're a victim. And usually real life is a little more complicated than that. So that would be one example of concept creep. We see it in other areas such as addiction and so on and so forth. Now, why is this important? Well, here's the problem. Words are signs that point to meaning. And if we change these signs, we no longer communicate with each other. What I've noticed in our current contemporary culture, it seems that words have become way more fluid, but there's usually a purpose behind it. What ends up happening is we will change the word so that it will have a maximum emotional impact and therefore help qualify me for a greater victim status. And so you hear things like, so-and-so spiritually raped me. Well, rape is a very specific allegation, and it's highly emotionally charged, as it should be when understanding what rape really means. What I wish would happen is that, and it's really designed in that situation often to simply use language to gain control over someone. So now all of a sudden the person that's been accused of being a spiritual rapist, whatever that means, is now on the defensive to claim he or she is not a rapist of any kind. And so on and on it goes, to the point where it becomes nearly impossible either to communicate, or probably even more effectively, it suppresses interactions with each other. So now we're not even going to speak to one another in the first place. So you've got to understand, words have meaning. As Christians, we need to insist upon plain language and agree upon what the terms mean. So if someone accuses you of something that sounds sort of outlandish to you, before you defend yourself, you probably need to clarify meaning with them. Insist that the terms they're using are accurate. But if they're not, if you sense that there's a power play, linguistic power play going on, simply call that out in a loving way. And look under the hood a little bit and get them to define terms. Ask them to clarify what their purpose or goal in this conversation is, those kind of things. That's the only way you'll put a stop to basically this philosophical nonsense. So my plea to everyone out there who is doing this, stop abusing the language. The language is a wonderful gift God has given us. He's actually chosen to reveal himself through his word linguistically. So please stop abusing the language for your own self-aggrandizement. And so I hope that this talk's been helpful. Forgive me for the rant. But if you like the work I'm doing, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell so that you won't miss any of these videos. Also, if you'd like any other, if you have ideas for future videos, I'd love to entertain those. Leave those in the comments as well. God bless. We'll talk again soon.